Hi, welcome back to Food and Whatever. This is your host, Christina. Today I'm going to be making you sofrito, which is the basics of all Puerto Rican cooking. It is very essential that you have it to make basically anything, rice, beans, soups, mondongo. So it is very simple. It is very, very good. It is very, very fast. So this is going to be a very, very quick show. What I have right here is black pepper. I got salt. I got a whole onion that I'm going to use. I got 2 green peppers, which right now I kind of left it halfway done, so I can show you. You want to go ahead and clean all this out. You don't want none of this, the stem nor the seeds inside, so you got to clean that out. And this little leaf right here, for a lot of people who don't know, is called culantro. It is not cilantro. It is a cousin to the cilantro leaf, but it's actually related to carrots, celery, parsley, and it's very, very aromatic. It is the best way to describe the taste. It's almost like cilantro, but it is not cilantro. You will find these in Mexico, South America, Central America, and Caribbean, and a lot of the Asian countries like Thailand and Taiwan and so forth. So right now we're going to go ahead and start making it. Like I said, you want to have this cleaned out. So we're going to go ahead and clean out the seed and the stem real quickly. And the best thing about this recipe is that even though you make a lot, you can actually freeze it. Or I've seen a lot of people get the ice cube trays and portion them and put them in the freezer for when they need it. They just bring out a cube of sofrito and just drop it in their food. You're going to need a blender. A lot of people use olive oil, but I'm not. Olive oil tends to be very expensive, especially if you're going to buy it in big bulk. So I'm just going to use vegetable oil. If you do prefer olive oil, that's more for your pocket or in your taste. But I don't have that kind of money, so I'm going to be using vegetable oil. So what I want to do before I burn out the motor in my blender, I'm going to go ahead and cut everything into pieces. And again, this is your basics for practically any dish that we use in Puerto Rico. I even used it to bake fish with it, and it's really, really good. And if you think that it's very, very thick, then you can always add a little bit of water. That's what my mom usually did. So I'm just going to go ahead and start blending little by little so it won't get too thick and too big of a mess. What I added was a whole head of garlic in there. So you can always add, I added a whole head of garlic. Again, you always want to make sure that you cut all your pieces. If you're having a little bit of trouble like I am because I cut the chunks too big, then it's fine, you can always cut it. It's all going to get blended anyways. Just don't stick your knife or your hand when it's going off. you can see it gets really, really full. I'm going to go ahead and add my salt. It's usually like a tablespoon of salt. I like mine to be a little bit more saltier than usual. That way, when I cook, I don't have to add too much salt in my food because it already has salt in it. A lot of people don't put black pepper, but I am. And traditionally, we have other things to put in. It's kind of hard finding them here in Georgia. So usually you will find ajis and little peppers. You can add tomatoes, so we'll change the color and some of the flavorings. But this is the way my mom has taught me to make it. This is the way I'm going to stick to it. Never had a problem. It tastes great. And just keep on blending. Tasting spoons. You want to have tasting spoons to make sure that you taste the end product. I just got to add a little bit more salt to mine. But again, this is a very, very simple, thing that we use in Puerto Rico, but it is what actually brings flavor to all of our food. And a lot of people use food processors instead of blender. That way it could be a little bit more chunky, but I don't mind it being completely blended. It still gives you the same flavors. So to me, it's very, very easier if you blend it that way. I got some very picky eaters that I have to deal with, and if they see anything that is chunky, they will not touch the food. So for me, having it completely blended, it is less of a headache. So let me go ahead and finish this, and we're almost done. All right. So let's go ahead and final taste. That's perfect for me. And that's it. That's how you make sofrito. I hope that you liked it. Again, it's a very simple show, very easy. I know we've been talking a lot. If you cannot find culantro, like I said, it's kind of hard finding it, especially in the States, where there's not a lot of Hispanic communities that has been established. And you can find them, you can use cilantro. For those who have large Hispanic communities, some in Atlanta, like Miami, Florida, New York, Chicago, and so forth, you can find cilantro. But thank you for joining me. I hope that you find this very easy. And this, again, you can freeze it, you can use it fresh, so forth. You can put in ice cubes, so you can use. But thank you for joining me. I put in whatever. And hit me up on Facebook at Christina Villafane, Facebook, or Christina Villafane at YouTube.com.